Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to do a quick video on how to graph constant profit lines and how that can help us then determine what point is actually give us a maximum value. So let's review a few things. So if you have a profit line or profit function, in this example, we're looking at two dimensions. And so this is actually an example taken out of a textbook. Let's say this is your profit curve right here. This simple line here, x plus y defines your profit, P. Okay. When we talk about a constant profit line, well, that means that basically if you put in some value for P, say 1, 2, whatever, then any point along that line that will give you that same constant profit. And if your system, if your area of allowed, if your constraint region is this right here, then we'd like to know where in this region then, these are possible values, where in this region then you're going to have this maximum profit. Okay. And what we can do then is based on this, we can, from this graphical method, we can actually then determine essentially which direction lines of constant profit are increasing. And that way we can determine then where we'd have a maximum or minimum value. Okay. Let's actually take a look at this first example then. In terms of which thickness, there we go. That's probably the one I want. Okay, so let's use P is equal to x plus y. Let's use that one. That's our constant profit line. Okay, and it's also on Desmos. We're going to use Desmos to help us out. I'm going to pick values for x and y. I'll pick values for P. Pick some values for P. And graph. And what that's going to do then is going to help us determine in which direction profit is increasing. Which direction profit is increasing. Once again, the idea is that this function right here determines your profit. Your profit is given by this arrangement of these two variables. And so we're going to graph, pick values for P and determine that's going to be what's called constant lines of profit and determine, and then several different values that's going to tell us in which way they're increasing. Let's go to Desmos really quickly and let's pick a few values. Okay, so let's say P is 1. So 1 equals x plus y. Okay, so that's what that graph looks like. Now, let's pick another one. Maybe 3 gives a little spacing. So 3 is equal to x plus y. Okay, you get the idea. So basically, as we increase, let's do 5. So the idea along each one of these lines, your profit is constant. We can see then, as we increase P, then these lines are moving in this direction, okay, toward the right and upward. So that means our profit is increasing in that direction, okay? Now, what we can also do is also figure out what our some of our values are. This help us graph this on the other chart. And so what's this? 3, 3, 0, good, okay. So let's go back here. Let's also make a graph. So we have 0, 1, and 1, 0. So basically, we have these lines here. Okay, so 0, 3, and 3, 0. 3, 0, and 0, 3. Once again, my lines are not the straightest, but you get the idea. Okay, it also means, let's go back to Desmos really quickly. Let's say we do one more out here. Let's say we do like, how about 7? So 7 is equal to x plus y. We should have to, x plus y, not x plus 7. There we go. And if we zoom out just a bit, we can see where those intercepts are. And that will help us then to graph on here. So 5, 6, 7, 7. Yeah. So these lines should all be parallel to each other. Oops. Let me do a better job on that one. They should all be parallel. And what this means, again, is that profit is increasing in this direction. And what that indicates then is that basically, if we keep doing the same patterns, let's do another one, maybe 14 to 14. Okay. If I can draw a straight line, not that good, but you get the idea. So what that tells us then is actually for this particular function, okay, once again, 4, let me say profit increases, once again, 4, P is equal to X plus Y. And this then point here at 7Y gives us our maximum profit for this particular profit function. Now, if we consider some other profit functions or other functions that may be different, it's possible your maximum profit will have to be at a corner point. That's one of the things we understand from these kinds of problems, but it meant it has to be this one. But this particular function, maximum profit occurs there. So what the point of this is to graph constant lines of profit, pick values for P, one of these, graph those, use Desmos to help. Then you can get an idea of in which direction your profit's increasing. It's increasing this way. And then that will then tell you which one of your corner points is a maximum or minimum value. Okay. Also, our minimum value in our allowable region also be down here. Okay. But like I say, different lines, it could be different, depending on the profit function. So that's the way to approach a problem like that. And that's something if you need to do that in an example. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.